Welcome to the Templeton Council of Aging Board of Directors meeting. I'm Janice LaFay, the chairperson of the committee. I'd like to call the meeting to order now at 11 a.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Justice for all.
I'd like to take attendance. Jan, Claudette.
Here.
Mary.
Here.
Tom. Christine. Cindy.
Cindy, are you here? Cindy?
Jackie.
Here.
Gail.
Here.
Virginia.
Here.
Alan.
Here.
And I think that's everybody. We have some new board members that I'd like to introduce. Mary Enstrom. Give a wave out, Mary. Tom Enstrom. And Christine Sargent. Welcome to the board. Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you.
I don't know about the camera.
Go online and see if you can figure out why I can't connect to it. That would be wonderful. Can you guys see me?
No, but we can hear you.
All right. I apologize. We had some technical difficulties, so I apologize for being late to the meeting.
Oh, there you are.
So, okay. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Cindy.
Where are we?
Good morning.
We're on number 4,
Okay.
election of a secretary. So we need a secretary for our board. Is there anyone who's willing to be secretary? The board members?
I think Mary would be awesome at the job.
Not right
Mary.
now.
Not right now. How about you, Tom?
We can't hear you, Tom. You're muted.
That better?
Yes.
Okay, no, nobody can read my writing.
Well, you only have to read it and then submit it.
Yeah, then someone's gonna read it, right?
You
No,
can do it
thank
on
you.
you can do it on the computer.
Yeah,
Tom can't read his own writing.
one key at a time.
Christine?
Oh, Christine absolutely would be awesome. No,
Well-
she's saying no.
Well, if
No.
somebody we could reorganize the
Sorry.
whole board. If somebody would like to be chairman, I would be secretary. If someone wants to be chairperson. I don't know what we do if we don't have a secretary.
Oh, boy.
Well, I could continue taking minutes. I don't know about other jobs, but I suppose I could continue taking the minutes, which I've been doing.
Thank you, Jan. So it has to be somebody who is on the board. It can't be somebody
Yes.
who is part of the COA.
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure.
Okay, well, we can maybe look into that. In the meantime, if Mary and Christine and Tom would reconsider their position maybe for next month, you know, because we do need somebody to take the minutes to be official.
Right. We've been actually meeting every other month, and May is our
Oh, right.
annual meeting.
Yeah.
So at that point, we would be voting for officers anyway.
At the next meeting?
If we meet in May, yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Should we keep on moving on then?
Yes. Do you want me to read the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes, I think probably we should do that.
Okay. Last meeting was Tuesday, September 8th, 2020. The meeting was called to order at 3:07 by Chairperson Claudette Vincent. The Pledge of Allegiance was recited. In attendance were Claudette Vincent, Donna Sands, Janice LaFave, Alan Vincent, Jackie Prime, Cindy Shea, Maureen LaFortune, Gail Noel, Virginia Strahan, George Lamore, and Diane Lamore. The new senior center staff members were introduced: Cindy Shea, service coordinator, and Kaylee McLaughlin, administrative assistant, which is what she was at that time. The minutes of the March 10th meeting were unanimously accepted. The treasurer's report was reviewed and accepted. The formula grant can be used for such things as coffee, water, salaries, computers, and laptops for board members and volunteers. Janice LaFave was elected chairperson, and Donna Sands was elected secretary. The guidelines were reviewed and accepted. Phase 1A for reopening the senior center is starting. Transportation has resumed. 4 people may be on the van at a time. Plexiglass has been installed to separate the driver and passengers. Outdoor activities can take place with participants being asked COVID-19 questions and temperatures being taken. Phase 1B will include some indoor activities that would be low risk. Phase 2 will include indoor activities with enhanced social distancing. Phase 3 will be indoor activities with social distancing. This month, yoga with Sumideris will begin. An outdoor exercise class with Kaylee McLaughlin will begin. There's a Zoom support group with Cindy Shea. Craft kits will be offered for pickup. A blood pressure clinic will be held every Tuesday by appointment. A flu shot clinic will be held outside on October 8th, 2020. A working board versus an advisory board was discussed briefly. The center will have only 3 part-time employees. A mission station was discussed, but no final draft was chosen. The entryway is being redone by the highway department and new furniture is coming. Cindy Shea reviewed the highlights of the Gerontology Institute report on how Massachusetts senior centers are adapting and reported the senior center has a Facebook page. The next meeting is scheduled for October 6th at 10 a.m. Agenda items must be submitted to Cindy Shea by October 1st, 2020. The meeting was adjourned at 4:17. Respectfully submitted, Janice LaFave. Are there any questions or corrections to the minutes?
Those are really good minutes, Jan.
Thank you.
We're never going to get the other ones to say yes because your minutes are
Well, then we'll have to have a new chairperson. We'll get a new chairperson and I'll be the secretary. If there are no questions and no corrections, all those in favor of accepting them, all members of the board who accept the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Please unmute yourself. All those refusing, nay. The minutes are accepted as written.
All right, moving on to a treasurer's report. Do we have
Yeah.
any treasurer report?
We don't have a treasurer, so I'm never really sure about this treasurer's report thing.
Yeah. How are our finances, Jackie?
Well, I'm sorry I didn't print them out to share a screen, but I can just go over the 3 accounts as of January 31st. So the COA gift account, the balance is $2,466.16. The formula grant, the balance is $2,880.40. And the senior center project remaining balance is $54,179.67. So that last one, you all would probably know better than me. I think it was the remainder of the monies that were appropriated when the center was built, constructed. And from what I can see of Kelly's budget versus actual, that's the balance, that's what's left. She's accounted for any outstanding commitments. And it seems to me that balance has been on the books for a couple of years. So I don't know what's all involved with utilizing it or earmarking it for other projects there. I can look into that if that's something you want me to do.
It's probably for something like the kitchen, finishing the kitchen off, or
Okay.
the roof, you know, but probably
Let's say the roof. Adam told me that the estimate went down to 170,000.
wow,
250.
wow.
To replace.
And I do think they I don't know that the list of capital projects that they're recommending for funding has been formally voted on, but it was my understanding that the roof was definitely a priority on that list. So.
Oh, good.
Good, good.
Because we are leaking.
Yes.
It's not going to be a great spring. Especially in the cable TV room.
Oh, and that's not a good place.
Yeah.
Not that there is a good place, but that's.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that would be good to know what that project funds can be used for. And
Okay.
yeah. Does everybody agree? Anybody else curious?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I agree. We should find out what we can use it for. Hopefully, maybe if they pass doing the roof, we could proceed with the kitchen, contact the Friends of the Elderly, and maybe they could add some money to it and get the kitchen going.
Exactly. Because the Friends has a grant for 15,000 toward appliances on the kitchen.
Okay.
And they've been fundraising in the past for kitchen money.
Okay. All right. Would anybody like to reach out to the Friends? Does anybody have connections with the Friends to reach out and ask them how much money we have in the kitchen budget in their funds? No, I can do that. I'll reach out to the Friends and ask them. All right, and then we should go on to the proposed bylaws.
Yes. Did everybody have a chance to peruse them and?
Before we go, don't we have to accept the treasurer's report before we go
Oh.
on?
I suppose we should. Yes. All those in favor?
Mary.
All those in favor of accepting the treasurer's report?
Aye.
I second the motion.
Aye. All
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
Okay,
Gian, can you clarify for us who needs to be voting? Is it just the 5 board members?
Yes, they're the
Okay.
only ones who can vote.
All right.
Did we lose Christine?
I'm here, just lost
Oh,
video for some reason.
okay. All right,
I'm here though, sorry.
very good. So treasurer's report is accepted. Okay, the proposed bylaws.
Excuse me, Jan, can I just, sorry, I'm trying to monitor the YouTube chat. So Mike Curry, who's our select board chairman, he commented regarding the election of a secretary and officers. And he just said rotation duty, question mark, take turns, revote each time you need to change, just a suggestion. So that was on that previous issue. I just noticed that now.
Okay, maybe that's something we could do, rotate turns, taking the minutes.
All right, Gian, why don't you plan to do it this month since you've already
I
very
am.
kindly volunteered? And then next month, should we just do this alphabetically? CMT? Christine, and then Mary, and then Tom. Or we could do Mary, Tom, and Christine, I suppose, if we go by last names alphabetically.
Would one of you be willing to do it next month?
You're off the hook for next month, Tom, either way.
Mary, would you do it next month?
I'll try.
Okay, I'm sure you'll do fine. I just use the agenda and make notes on my agenda as we go through each thing.
Thank
Okay,
you,
so,
Mary.
yes, thank you. Proposed bylaws. Do we need to read through them? Are there any questions? I had originally had some questions and I was speaking with Adam, so I talked with him about it. And he clarified some things for me. One was that the council shall consist of 5 members. We had put in our guidelines 5 to 7, but he said the advisory said just 5, because that way when we need a quorum, we would be able to have 3 people for a quorum. So another thing I did was that the potential council members shall be nominated by a majority vote of the existing members of the council. I don't think that's ever been done before that I know of. I mean, maybe way back, but I think I thought that was a very good idea that we would be involved in.
So I have a question. I apologize, but I'm hearing board of directors, and I'm hearing council. So is the council a larger entity and the 5 board officers are, the voting members over this larger body? So like, is Gail and Alan and and Virginia, are they on the council? Does this?
That's a good question. I don't know. I've always used them sort of board and council interchangeably, but it's possible that there is a difference.
Do you know, Jackie?
Gail might be able to weigh in, because it was my understanding that the board is the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. And I think in the past, Gail, there were sort of associate members. Yeah.
Right, associate members. You
Okay.
know,
Right, well,
there used to be about 5 to 7 or 10 associate members who would attend a meeting.
right,
Okay.
with the hope that they would eventually join the board, but that didn't happen, I guess. So we kind of let them go. Here it does say the council shall consist of 5 members who shall serve without pay. So the council would be the board of directors, I guess. I don't know, unless everybody else is considered board of directors. Then potential council members shall be nominated by a majority vote of the existing members of the council.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it would be most effective if we could have a council that consisted of the associate members as well as the board of directors. We need more than just 5 people to do this role. And it makes sense that, I mean, there are many people who are integral parts of the COA. Like Alan, Virginia, Gail, right now, I mean, you are integral to the, so I think, can we change this wording so that we change that so it doesn't say council, but it says board of directors shall be 5 people. And the council would be
Include the
anyone who would
associate
like,
members.
I'm sorry, Gail, what?
The council on membership would include associate members as well as the board of directors
Yes,
and the entire organization.
yeah,
Okay. So the board of directors shall consist of 5 members.
Right.
The council board of directors shall consist of 5 members.
Yeah.
And then potential council members, well, it still have to be nominated by majority vote because only the board of directors could vote.
right. So I think maybe anyone who is seriously interested in serving on the council could be recommended by any of the board members or council members. And then they could become a part of the council or associate membership. But they would need to be recommended. They don't need to be recommended by the selectman and town administrator as the board of directors does. That makes sense?
Right. Yes, we could allow associate members.
That's perfectly fine, yeah.
And so the associate members, you would say, would have to be nominated?
Yes, I think they need to be nominated. So if I wanted to be an associate member, I would go to Gail and just say, can you nominate me? Do you think I could be?
Uh-huh.
And Gail
Okay.
would say, no, I don't think so. Or whatever. I don't think I
Alright.
could be an associate member. But
That would be a separate line then. Associate members can be nominated by
Anybody, I would think.
anybody, right?
Right, right.
by
So
the
right now, your board
BOD.
of directors, I'm sorry,
Well,
right now,
if-
the board of the directors is Janice, Claudette, Mary, Tom, and Christine, correct?
correct.
Yeah,
Are considered board members. And
Right.
then would we vote in Virginia, Gail, and Alan as associate members or council members?
Yes, we could do that. The five of
Now-
us could do that,
But
so
they
Mary,
wouldn't have a vote because they're not on the board of directors.
correct.
so are you saying that the board of directors should nominate people to be on the council? Or can it be any council member can nominate another?
I think any council member can, but then,
Then the board of directors has to approve it or not,
Right.
you know.
the board of directors would then vote.
Okay.
to-
That makes sense, Gail. Yeah, I think that's good. Anyone can nominate, but the board of directors should approve.
Mhm.
Right,
And install it.
I'm looking at the current bylaws before this goes in. And it says right in it, this whole thing with council versus board. Under the memberships, it says the council shall consist of 5 members, including the chairperson. Now, that would tell me that it's the people that are
On the
that
board.
are basically here, right? The potential council members shall be nominated by the majority vote of the existing members of the council.
Yeah.
So that would be us.
Right, I think that's just, we're just trying to clarify that
Right.
part of it. Mhm.
I don't think
sensed
that-
the confusion there, so that's why I pulled this out and I was looking at it.
Mhm.
right.
Thank
That's
you,
pretty much the same as what is in the new one, but I don't think we ever went by that. Basically,
Well,
the.
I know, I
form-
understand
first-
that, but that's the way the original was written.
Right, which is pretty much what we have
What
here,
We're talking about here.
right?
Okay,
So that's not really a change. The thing that is a change is that such persons shall be appointed on a rotating basis, each for a 3-year term. Oh, no, that was in there too. Oh, it's
Yeah.
all been in there. I didn't know this
Well-
1-year hiatus. I don't know if it was ever applied.
Well, if you look at that, you got 3 years and then a second consecutive term of 3 years. After 6 years, the way I read this is that you're gonna have you're gonna have to take a year off.
Oh, after the second, yeah.
After the
Right.
second term.
So this whole, getting people on the board and all that kind of thing is, hey, I'm good for 6 years if you want me. So,
Right.
and after that, I have to go away for a year.
Correct.
That means you gotta have a whole new group of people in there.
Well, that's why they're trying to do it
Eventually.
on a rotating basis so that wouldn't everybody,
Right.
like, I started in 2019. Claudette, I don't know what year you came in.
Mhm.
And then Mary, Tom, and Christine would be 2021.
20,
Right.
we have to get reaffirmed, according to Holly, it would be June of 2023.
After
would be
3 years.
Tom and Christine.
Right. Right,
Is our term runs out June 30th of 2023.
right. Then it would be another 3-year term.
Yeah, if we have, they wasn't certain whether we have to reapply or not. I don't know how that
I
works.
don't think so. I remember on the cultural council, we had to do that, but I don't think we had to reapply. I think we just
Rotate.
went in and signed, got sworn in again or whatever it was, got a new card. All right, so is that part acceptable to everybody? 920, 921, 922.
I think that sounds good.
All right, then the officers, the next section, 923. The only thing is
I have one question before we get on too far. Under the purpose, it no longer lists that part of our purpose is to help the food pantry.
Purpose. Oh,
It says
because we are
"Meet
not,
problems of aging."
the food pantry is no longer under the senior center or the Council on Aging. It's been taken over by the Hope Church, I can't remember the name of the church.
New Hope.
They're now running it.
What's it called?
Jackie,
Yes, yep, that's correct. New Hope Bible Chapel is running the food pantry now.
Okay. So that's not part of our jurisdiction anymore.
Now, can we still promote it, like put something in the newsletter? Is that allowed?
I believe the hours are posted in the newsletter, and where contributions can be made is also there.
Because previously they would put in a list of what the food pantry needed. Is that going to still be allowed in the newsletter?
I don't know if they've,
I don't see why not. I mean, we're still advocating for the poor and the elderly and all that.
yeah, I suppose if they let us know, then that could be included in the newsletter. Cindy, we're just talking about including any needs that the food pantry has that we might include in the newsletter, though we are responsible for it. Could we
Yes.
still list anything that they're requesting?
Oh, good idea.
That's good.
Yeah, we have invited her to, she's got that little space and we have invited her to put there whatever she wants. And the same with TCTV. So there will be some changes coming in the newsletter soon, probably, with those additions. But that's a wonderful idea to put needs for the food pantry.
Okay. So we're on the officers now. We had changed our guidelines so that we met every other month, which means we would meet in June and July, but in May and July and not in June. So we were going to hold our annual meeting in May. So that's something I thought maybe we should change in the bylaws. Is that how other people feel about that? Or do you want to meet in June?
I would say, or as necessary. I would keep it every other month and then say, or as necessary.
I believe that is in our
Yeah.
guide that we can do
So-
that. So we want to change this bylaw to be elected at the annual meeting in May.
So, the good thing about it being in May is the new fiscal year begins in June.
Right.
So it kind of is a good way to wrap up the whole year, to have the annual meeting in May. Just
All
a
right.
thought.
So we'll just ask them to change that, the annual meeting in May.
When was it on there, Gian? When were they
It's
saying?
June, the annual meeting in June.
Oh. I'm so sorry. When does a new fiscal year begin for us? It's July?
July 1st.
Oh, it's July 1st.
July 1st.
Right, it's July 1st.
So it should be in June then.
So then we'd have to have a meeting in June. So we'll leave that in June. Okay, and let's see. The officers will be elected in June by a majority vote of the members present and shall take office upon election. That I thought was new. I thought it started in the next month.
Well, if your annual meeting is in June, will take effect in the first of the next month, and that would be the fiscal year.
Right. But even the old bylaws did say shall take office upon election.
Right.
So I don't know, just leave it. 924 employees, the council may appoint such clerks and other employees as it may require. That was, I don't know what that's about. I don't think we've ever appointed anybody.
Are
And
they
then-
talking about like council members for that?
It just says the council may appoint such clerks or other employees
Oh,
as it may require. We can't employ any employees, so,
Mm.
I mean, unless they're volunteering. And then 924, I had a question about the council shall submit an annual report to the town. I don't know anything about this, Cindy. Is this something that you do? And send a copy thereof to the State Department of Elder Affairs.
There is a report that needs to be sent to Elder Affairs at the end of June.
Okay, so that would be that, and you take care of that?
Yes, that was before my time. So I actually got something from the EOEA saying, could I please submit that? So Jackie and I will have to sit down and put our heads together. Try to get together that info, but I think that makes sense. So this annual report maybe could just be what we submit to EOEA.
Right, I would assume, because it said a copy would be sent to
Okay.
the Department of Elder Affairs, so that could be it. Right, and then there was the 925 is the quorum and voting, which is pretty much what we said. We'd have to have 3 members present to conduct the meeting and have a quorum. So we all agreed that the minutes should be, and not the minutes, the bylaws are okay, and we will let Adam know that we approve and they can be sent to the town. Everybody in favor of having these submitted? Say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Any
I would-
opposed? Okay, so I will let Adam know, or that Jackie, do you want to let Adam know that?
Sure. Yeah, I will do that.
Okay,
The only thing is does it clearly stipulate the difference between what we are now defining as the council versus the board of directors?
oh, that was a change, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that 922, the membership. I don't know, Jackie, do you want to talk to him about that, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I think I'll write it up just with those edits and talk to him about it tomorrow.
Okay, I know he said he was sending a preliminary thing to wherever it had to go to be sure it
Right.
was included in the warrant.
Okay.
Okay,
So do we need to put that vote on pause until after Jack talks to
I-
Adam?
With you guys not meeting again till May, that's gonna be too late for it to get on the
Right.
warrant. So we need to probably vote now with the, I don't know, some kind of wording that the edited version is what you're approving.
well, even if it's not in our bylaws, I mean, I don't see where in our guidelines we can't have that we have associate members.
Mhm.
Wouldn't that be okay? I mean, they're not going to vote or, So if that's not acceptable, we could just put in our guidelines that we were going to have associate members and how they would be nominated.
Because
I-
before this, that's what you had was associate members and they didn't have a vote.
Yes, that's what we had. And they were never listed, as far as I know, in the bylaws. I think that was just some guidelines that we had.
I
So I don't,
think we can be confident that Jackie would explain it the way we have just
Right.
voted for it.
right, and if it's not acceptable and they put it through this way, we can still put it in our guidelines,
Yeah,
I would think.
or change the bylaw if we have to or whatever, but I
Well,
think.
but these bylaws have to go before the town, that's because.
Oh, right, right.
We're a town group, town appointed. So,
Yeah. I think it'll be simple enough to try to clarify the difference there.
right, right. All right, so the mission statement we never approved last time we met. I can't, I have one draft. I don't know if this is the one. The mission of the Templeton COA is to provide programs and services to enrich the lives of the elderly in the community, to promote independence and to improve the quality of life through programs and services that enhance well-being. Or here's the second one. The mission of the Templeton COA is to promote the well-being and enhance the quality of life of seniors in Templeton through programs and services. Anybody have any other ideas or want to add to that, or?
It's kind of a lot to process all in one big statement. Can we break it down and maybe do like one part at a time and be able to look at it like that in more segmented form?
Right, well, the shorter one would be to promote the well-being and enhance the quality of life of seniors in Templeton through programs and services, which to me kind of sums up everything in one statement.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of what he wrote here is the purpose? He said the
Pardon me?
council agents have a duty and obligation to carry out programs designed to meet the problems of the aging in coordination with programs of the Mass Department of Elderly Affairs. Aren't we basically saying the same thing?
Yes, where did you get that, Mary?
That's right in his bylaws that
In the
he sent us. That Adam sent on Thursday, the January 21st, under purpose, 921, the first line.
Oh, okay,
I personally like the mission statement that you read, Jan, because I don't know, that in the bylaws designed to meet the problems of the aging, that just feels very negative. I like the mission statement that the second one that you read, the brief one. It's just more positive and,
True.
My opinion.
Yeah, to promote the well-being and enhance the quality of life of seniors in Templeton through programs and services.
And it's not contrary to what the purpose is in the bylaws.
Right,
More friendly addition.
right. So
That sounds
all those,
much better.
It's
All
a little
those-
more succinct, I think.
all those,
The only thing is, in the COA world, we're trying to get away from the word seniors and call ourselves older adults. So there's been studies done that people over 60 don't want to be called seniors or elders. They want to be called older adults. So
all right, so we've just put to promote the well-being and enhance the quality of life of older adults in Templeton.
I myself am a baby boomer. I'm not a senior. I'm a baby boomer.
right.
So if we put enhance the quality of life of older adults in Templeton through programs and services.
But how does that go? Who considers themselves older? Is a 45-year-old older? Or do we want to say 55 and older?
Do we have an age limit
Define
to
older.
helping people here? I mean, I just thought we helped whoever needed our help.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, really, whoever has identified themselves as a senior comes to the senior center, I guess.
Or an aging population, the aging population.
Yes.
No, I don't like that.
Yeah, that sounds very
How
old. And
technical do we need to
gray.
get?
So is there any more discussion on the mission statement? Should we vote then? All those in favor of accepting to promote the well-being and enhance the quality of life of older adults in Templeton through programs and services as our mission statement, please acknowledge
Aye.
by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay, that's our new mission statement. I will get it typed up and I could leave it at the senior center. People, you can make copies available.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
They can just email it to us,
Yes,
Janice.
I could do that too. Yes.
And we have time to get it into the newsletter for April.
Okay.
So,
As long as I get it there by March 12th.
oh my.
The pressure's on now. Okay, so moving on, the working board versus advisory board. Cindy, you want to talk about that?
Sure. We should see. So I know I've been talking about a working board versus an advisory board, and I just want to clarify it a little bit more. And basically what I'm suggesting is that people on the council, not just the 5-member board, but on the council, if folks would take on a certain aspect of the senior center. And on the agenda, I put several. I put someone, it would be wonderful to have someone who was in charge of volunteers and the tax work off people. Christine has been diligently working on trying to put together an Excel sheet with all of our volunteers. We've got like almost 50 volunteers at the senior center. So we really could use somebody to kind of oversee that, make sure we've got the query done, the application, the waiver, that all of those things are done, and that people are doing things that they want to be doing that are interesting to them. So that's what this person would do. Somebody who would be in charge of grounds and gardens. That means like in the wintertime, keeping up with our plants inside, not that we have very many, but maybe we'll get more, would be wonderful. So for somebody with a green thumb to do that. And then maybe to take on some outdoor projects. We have this wonderful sign that hasn't been painted yet, but it's going to be painted, and it'll, say Templeton Senior Community Center, and, whoever's on this gardens and grounds would make sure that we potted something in those plants, the planters on each side of our sign. And maybe every year we could just, do a little bit more to beautify the property. But that's, if we have somebody on grounds and gardens, somebody who's interested in doing that. Someone to work with Kaylee regarding activities. Actually, I'd love to see like a whole squad of folks come in and help with that. We, sometimes the projects that we do, the 3 of us here are working diligently on it. And one month we had Mary, Gail, and Jan, plus the 3 of us trying to pull it all together for the grab and goes. And so, and I think just, whoever's on this committee would be helping her to pick things that would be of interest for seniors, and just somebody that she can bounce ideas off of. The whole thought behind this working board versus advisory board is, a couple of things. First of all, I'm sensing what I've heard very strongly is that, people felt like they had no responsibility, no voice on the board. And I don't want anybody to feel like that. I think, it's an incredible resource for seniors in town. And this provides them an opportunity, seniors, anybody, board members or anyone, to be able to continue to use their gifts and their abilities. So I actually left my last job a few months before I started here, and I was going out of my mind. I had no sense of purpose anymore. I did not like retirement. So, if I had a sense that this job might be coming up, otherwise I would have jumped in at my senior center and started all kinds of stuff, because we need a sense of purpose. So, so part of it is I want you guys as council members and board members to have have a sense of purpose and to know how valuable you are, you know, and have a say in what goes on here. And then the other thing is, when I was here years back, we had 2 or maybe 3 full-time people on staff, and then several people that were part-time. And so this is quite an adventure having 3 part-time people. But I am determined that together we can do at least as much as when we had all those full-timers. As you know, we can do at least that much and hopefully a lot more, because just people are doing what they want to do. So anyway, so those are my thoughts behind this. You know, in order to, you know, we can't really run a very wonderful center here with just 3 part-time people. I mean, we're going to do the best we can, but if we had a force of volunteers behind us, this is going to be a premier COA, ladies and gentlemen. That's my goal, is that this will be a premier COA.
Cindy, you had
doesn't
given me a list of volunteer opportunities. Now, is that something that maybe some of those things could be included in the newsletter to let other people know that this is something they might be able to participate in?
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. So the, you know, when we have a volunteer coordinator, we'll be sitting down and ironing all that stuff out. Right now, we are trying to pull together the, you know, applications are in various places. So it's finding them, putting them all together, getting all this information collated. So that's really where we're at right now. And I'm nervous about doing a lot more with that until we've got a volunteer on board who is willing to help me. I can take off more than I can chew and then be really overwhelmed. And then I thank God for Gail, because she comes in and she calms me down, and Jackie, and dries my tears and settles me down. But anyway, but yes, that's what I want to do. I want to put that in the newsletter and just really get a bunch of people. So
But does it
activities.
really need to be a board member? Can it just be somebody in the community?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are certain things that I'd rather have be a board member, like the volunteer person, the person in charge of the volunteers, that person hopefully will be a board member, because you'll be privy to a lot of information that, you know that you guys have taken a vow of confidentiality, and we can trust other people as well, I'm sure, but it's just a position of authority, and I think it's better if it's a board member for that. But other ones, yeah, it could be anybody in the community. So then
Now, do the associate members have to be go through the ethics also? Like Virginia and Gail, if they became associate members, they're going to have to go through all the ethics stuff that we did?
we have to find that out.
Yes.
You're
Mhm.
saying yes, because you do have to?
I had a Corey check and
Oh,
the
yes,
statement.
Corey. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So at this point, the videos are not required, but the waiver, the application, and the Corey are. One thing we're actually ironing out is that right now, it's questionable. Some people are questioning if board members have to be Corey'd. And Jackie and I have tossed that around, and we're thinking yes, but somebody else in authority is saying no. So we'll have to figure that out. So right now, I don't think board members have been Corey'd, have you?
No, I haven't.
No.
Not as a board member.
Yeah. So volunteers
Corey.
do. Volunteers do. So I think, what I'm going to recommend is that we Corey board members as well. So somebody was saying that because you're not dealing directly with the older adults in the community, but I don't think that's true. I think board members are maybe more involved with adults in the community, older adults in the community. So please let me know if you have any other thoughts on that, where board members should or should not be Corey'd. Please let me know. interested in your thoughts before we go forward and make that official. So other things on the agenda for working board, please think about, you know, maybe we could have a liaison with TCTV, a decorations coordinator, decorations committee. Right now, Kaylee takes the bulk of that, but the three of us are spending some of our 19.5 hours decorating, and we shouldn't be necessarily doing that. You know, we should be, you know, serving seniors. So if we could get a decorating committee. Reopening events, we are going to reopen it someday. I'd love to work with somebody or several somebodies about what those events are going to look like. Are we going to have a big grand celebration with a dinner and karaoke? And so I'd love to get some ideas on that and work with a board member or council member. Grant writing, if anybody has skills in that area, and someone in charge of adaptive equipment would be wonderful as well. We have a lot of adaptive equipment, wheelchairs and so forth, and we need to keep a better inventory and keep track of things better in that department. So those are some of the working board ideas that I just want to throw out to you at this point.
Thank you, Cindy.
Yeah. Anybody want to jump in on one of those or two or three of those?
I'll help Kaylee with the activities.
All right. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mary.
Cindy, I'm going to volunteer to be the volunteer coordinator.
Oh, Christine, thank you. That's, oh my gosh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. All right. Okay, so moving along, shall we move along?
Yes.
What's
new
happening
business.
at the senior center? Volunteer update. I guess I pretty much shared what's going on. We're trying to gather applications and all of that information from the far corners of this building and put it all together in a list, which Christine has wonderfully done so far. And then figure out, you know, how to reach out to people and get them involved. Volunteers right now are reaching 700 older adults in this town. We have a list of 700 seniors that we are reaching out to find out if they've had the vaccine, if they need help getting the vaccine. We've done a pretty good dent in that. And at the last count, we are running about 60 to 70% of the adults in town over 75 have had the vaccine. So we're doing pretty good in that department, I think. But we will continue to reach that. If anybody is interested in making phone calls, 700 is a rather daunting number to think on. Christine has been making some. My daughter came in. Gail's made, I don't know, 300 of them so far, I think. So we're going to get the 700 done. So
It helps, Cindy.
I'm sorry.
I can help, Cindy,
Oh, Claudette, thank you.
with the call.
With the calls, that would be wonderful. All right, we can talk later. Jan's been in and done a
Okay,
bunch of them too.
I can do it this afternoon if you want, when I go to pick up my grab and go.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you. All right. Yay. All right.
Have you figured out how to get around the problem we had when I was doing the phone calls? Because I was sharing Kaylee's line.
Yeah, we figured out how to fix that. Yeah.
Now,
So,
are you there on Wednesdays, or is the senior center completely closed on Wednesdays?
pretty much we're closed. I mean, occasionally I come in if something is real important. Like tomorrow I can't. I have several appointments tomorrow. So, but you know, if I'm free on a Wednesday and there's things that have to be done, I come in. I try very hard to just stick to the 19.5 hours. I seldom do, but I try. So not coming in on a Wednesday helps me stick. Say it again,
I'm
Mary.
sorry, how much in advance do you need to know that we're available?
Say that
call?
again. How much?
How much in advance do you need to know that we can come in and do some of the calling?
You know, if you could check the day before, or even, you know, I mean, even if it's the same day, I mean, obviously the better, the longer the notice, the better, because, you know, like, so now this afternoon we have one person coming in, and then Jan's going to come. So, and Christine is here. So that's all we can do for today. You know, and that might be tough to do. I know we are comfortable, we can handle 2. So if as much lead time as you can give me is good.
Well, if it's too much today, I can maybe come on Thursday, if that works
Okay.
better.
Yeah. Let's talk later with Christine. I don't know when she's has to leave. So, so she's making calls today, but when she's, you know, and then Irene Murray is coming in too. So yeah, Mary came actually already and made some calls for us. So thank you, everybody. That's amazing. But I feel like it's a service that we should be doing for our seniors. We need to help them make sure that they can get to the vaccine site, that they know how to make an appointment. They, you know, we need to be able to help them. So the grab and goes with Kaylee are going wonderfully. People are loving them. They're really loving them. There's great activities that Kaylee's coming up with. And so that's wonderful. And she's doing a walking group that's got quite a crowd that getting together to walk together.
As long as the weather cooperates.
Yeah, when the weather cooperates. Yes. Jan's doing a book club. So there's, you know, there's things going on, even though we're closed. We do the blood pressure, Ask a Nurse program every Tuesday. We're continuing with that. I wanted to give you an update. Some of you, I had mentioned this before, that I was applying for a grant for Templeton. We got the grant. I found out Sunday night that our grant was approved. We were, our chances of getting that were 1 in 3, or 1 in 2.5, I guess. And so I'm thrilled. So that we got that, and that's going to be for caregivers. So if you know anyone that is a caregiver, you know, a spouse or, you know, someone that they take care of in their home, this COVID has been especially stressful on caregivers. So this grant that we have now will allow us to funnel almost $4,000 into programs for caregivers. And so we're looking for folks that need a break from taking care of their loved one. So we can talk more about that later. Oh, another thing that's actually not on the list here is I've been reaching out to some social work schools in the area because as a former outreach worker, I know how valuable that position is in an NACOA. And I know our town can't afford that. So I've reached out to some social work schools to try to find a student who would come and volunteer. And I am meeting Thursday with a student from BU. She's a graduate student and she is so excited about working here. She will be here in September.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so, and she will work 16 hours a week, which is for free. It's like, yay, that's the kind of bargain I like. So it's, you know, trying to get more into what we offer here, what we can offer. And so that's yet another way for us to be able to do that.
That's fantastic.
So, other business? Does anybody else have any other business to cover?
You didn't say anything about your Zoom ladies group.
Zoom ladies group. Okay. So this was an interesting group. I put it out there as a support group, and we had like 8 people showing interest, wound up with just 2. And it was wonderful. I mean, the 3 of us had great conversations together, and I think it was really helpful. But it was an hour and a half, and that's a lot of time out of my 19.5 hours. So I talked with those 2 ladies, and we decided we would put that on hold. part of the problem I thought was that we called it a support group. Maybe people don't want to do that. Then we called it Conquering COVID, and people didn't want to do that. Maybe it's they didn't understand Zoom. So I worked with TCTV to put together a tutorial on how to do Zoom. So that's actually going on now. Has anybody seen that?
No,
Yeah, Jack, yeah,
It's on Channel 8.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, it's great. It's really great.
So, yeah, it's good, good. Yeah, so my next shot at this, Mary, was, can we just call this a ladies group? Sorry to the gentlemen in the group. You know,
It's accepted.
so yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's
Or just let's talk.
I like that better rather than just saying women.
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk.
okay. A let's talk group.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and we can continue to do it the same way. Everybody knows how that worked before, right? Does anybody not? Just raise your hand. Where the little gifts, I mailed out little gifts to everybody, and all right, so I see no hands, so I'll assume everybody knows what we did. All right, so
May I see Virginia's hand up?
oh, Virginia,
Virginia's got a hand up? No?
I thought that was a thumbs up thing she was doing.
Oh,
I knew Virginia was in favor of it. Okay, so that's what we'll do. We will start that in April, and we will see how Let's Talk goes. See if we can, see if we can get more people involved, because it really is a great group. I mean, we tell each other jokes, we're in stitches. So, okay.
So is there any other business?
Jackie, do we know anything about reopening?
I have heard nothing.
Okay. Mhm.
You know, it kind of, I think it probably has a lot to do with the governor and our local Board of Health, their
Well,
recommendations.
right. And on the last, health statistics, in the bottom, it says we're moving into phase, I think 4, step 2. And, if people can go to restaurants and gather, why can't we? But I understand, it's not our decision.
Right.
Mhm.
I would think maybe by the end of May, when they hope to have most people vaccinated, maybe that would be, especially the elders will have been.
Right.
The CDC just yesterday released new guidelines on social distancing. It's on their website, connecting with concerning people who have had their 2 or have been vaccinated, either 2 or 1 doses, and have been vaccinated for 2 weeks. The CDC released a whole list of guidelines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Including for folks who have been vaccinated, the required 1 dose or 2 doses for 2 weeks, they can gather without masks inside in small groups for one. And I don't know what the definition of a small group is, but so there's, check those out. Check those out.
I will check that out and put
I'll
something.
send you the guidelines if you would like,
right.
or the group, I can send the guidelines, but these are brand new as of yesterday.
All right. So you can either send them to me or write up a little article that we can put in the newsletter. If you send that to me, I'll write up the article, but I would love for you to, if you were up to it, Virginia, writing up an article.
What's the deadline for the article? Well, we'll talk.
Yeah.
Or any other business? Okay, then I adjourn this meeting at 12:05.
You guys are the best. Thank you so much.